every single week I'm spending time in the back end of somebody else's business. They have a checkout page, they have an email list, they have a freebie people are downloading. Everything looks great, but they're still not making sales. And when I find the problem, it's almost never what they think it is. It usually ends up being a broken connection that they didn't realize existed. Hi, I'm Delana, a tech and systems specialist for Solopreneurs. I work at Kit, and I've spent the last 10 years building and fixing tech backends for online businesses, coaches, course creators, service providers at every different stage of business. Now, this is week 1 of a series called Why Is Nothing Working? And if that title made you think, oh, maybe I need this, then you are in the right place. Because this series is going to be about the stuff I actually find when I go behind the scenes of somebody's business, not the stuff that you read about in those marketing blogs. Marketing is important, but this isn't that. So today we're starting with the big picture, and that is what your tech setup is actually costing you and why it's almost never what you think it is. So before we do anything else, here's one thing you can do right now. Go to your opt-in form, wherever it lives, whether it's your website or your link in bio or your landing page, fill it out, use a real email address that isn't your business one, so not the one that you're sending the email from, and then wait 5 minutes. Did it arrive? Is it in spam? Did your freebie actually show up with it? I have done this test on dozens of setups, and it's actually kind of surprising how many times this is broken. Like the form looked fine and the automation existed, but the connection between the two wasn't there. And how you connect the two depends on what platform you're using. So that's a whole different video, but just know that that could be a connection that is causing some friction in new subscribers coming to your list. So just go ahead and check that before you even do anything else, but make sure you come back. Now let's talk about what's actually happening when your tech setup is costing you sales. I think when most people say nothing is working, they think the problem is their content or the size of their audience, and sometimes that could be the problem or part of the problem. But when I actually take a look behind the curtain of their business, what I usually end up seeing is one of 4 things, and none of them have to do with marketing, unless it's your marketing tech that's broken. So number 1 is the broken opt-in, which we kind of touched on. I want you to go check yours right now if you haven't done it, because your opt-in is the door into your world, right? For new people, or even for people that have been watching you for a while. They finally decide to take the next step with you. Most likely that's going to be in the form of opting into your email list. So when someone fills it out, a series of things are supposed to happen once they click submit on that form. They should get a confirmation email, and this could be also the email that delivers whatever it is that you promised them, your freebie. Their information goes into your email platform, and your automation should trigger from there. And if any one of those steps breaks, they get nothing. And you see this happening on your side, maybe by your email list not growing, or maybe you see that opt-ins are happening, like you can see people are landing on the form or signing up for the form, but they're not staying or they're not confirming, so your email list actually isn't getting any bigger. I've found broken opt-in processes on setups that have been live for months. The person was posting, they were driving traffic and wondering why their list wasn't growing. It's because people were filling out the form, not getting what they were promised, and so then they were just bouncing. What that usually looks like is if they've confirmed, or if you don't have a double opt-in turned on and they are confirmed automatically, they don't get what you promised them, right? The freebie, but then maybe they get your next newsletter email, but then they bounce because who are you? They didn't get what you promised them, and now they don't know who you are because they also didn't get any kind of welcome series or anything. They've forgotten who you are because how many people are out there with email lists these days, right? So that is why it's super important to make sure that your opt-in is set up properly and they get the information that they should get when they first sign up with you. The second thing that's usually missing or broken is the welcome sequence. Either there isn't one, or it is only one email and it stops too soon. When someone signs up for your list, that is usually the highest point of interest that they'll have with you. They just said yes. If what happens next is one confirmation email and then 3 weeks of silence, you've probably already lost them. The welcome sequence is where you establish who you are, why they're in the right place, what to expect from you, and it's where your first offer to them should live. Not immediately, but after a few days of getting to know you. And without that piece, your list can grow, but it might not actually convert. The third problem that I see the most often is that the checkout page isn't connected to your email list. So this looks like somebody makes a purchase from you, like an actual purchase with actual dollars, and then they don't get added to your email list. So then they don't get any kind of follow-up from you or anything like that after they've made that purchase. Most likely somebody who's purchased from you they could already be on your email list, but we also want to make sure that if they are not, that they get added after they purchase, or at the very least that they get added to a sequence about the purchase after they've made the purchase. And if if your checkout isn't connected to your email platform, their purchase info just stays inside the checkout, platform that you're using, which is fine. You haven't lost it, but you're going to have to like manually move it over into your email platform or manually tag those people with whatever it is that they purchased instead of it happening on the back end automatically, which is really what we want, right? And again, if they don't get tagged as a buyer, then they don't get the post-purchase sequence, which is also, really is as important as your welcome sequence, if not more, because now they've spent money with you and you want to make sure that they feel supported going forward after their purchase. Even if it's like a little small ticket item, that's fine. Just send a couple of emails asking them if they've used it and if they have any questions or what they came up with. It just gives them that like feeling of support, not just give me your money, okay, bye. So connecting your checkout to your email platform is usually a super quick fix if you don't already have that set up, and it's one of the highest value things you could do for the back end of your business. The fourth thing that I see a lot is tools set up in isolation, and we kind of just talked about this. It's essentially having all of your things set up, but none of them communicating to each other. So you've got a website over here, an email platform over there, a checkout page, but they don't actually talk to each other. Essentially what you want is any forms on your website and any purchases from your checkout platform, whether that's like Teachable or something or Thrivecart or whatever, all of that really needs to funnel back into your email list. Like that's really the biggest, like most important setup that you need to have going for you. Alternatively, you could be using an all-in-one platform like System or Kajabi where all of this stuff lives in the same place. So you don't have to worry about like back-end connections like separate, but you do still want to make sure that you have the right automations and triggers set up, that all of these things are firing when they are supposed to. And I know I keep coming back to the checkout page, email list, like form situation, but that's really like, especially if you're new, like that really is like the main thing that needs to be set up and working properly. None of it has to do with your offers. None of it has to do with your audience size or your marketing strategy. It all just has to do with the behind the scenes back end infrastructure of your business. That like invisible layer underneath everything. The stuff that nobody else really sees, only you do. Maybe your assistant if you have one. This is the stuff that either makes sure it all works or makes sure it all doesn't. Because your content can be great and you can be reaching the right people, but your back end can still be costing you sales and keeping your audience from actually growing if these pieces aren't working properly. And that's what the rest of the series is going to be about. I know this video was kind of a surface level overview, but the rest of the videos are going to dive deeper into different elements of things not working in your business. And if any of this sounds familiar to you or is poking at a little pain point that you have that you were trying to ignore, then I have something for you. The After Hours Tech Audit is a free guide. It walks you through how to check your systems and your tools and just everything in the back end of your business to make sure that it's working the way that you need it to. I have the link for it in the description. If you've been wondering why things aren't clicking, start there. Your tech doesn't need to be impressive. I've said it 100 times and I'll say it again. You don't need 87 million apps. I love playing with all of them, so I totally understand like the desire to want to get in and like test out all the things and figure out which one, but just pick one to start with. You can always switch them later. You don't need them all right now. You don't need to pay for them all right now. Pick a website, an email, and a way to sell and deliver your products. That's all you need to get started. Just a very simple setup, because a simple setup that's set up properly will always outperform a complicated one with 100 million different tools that is actually not connected and working the way it's supposed to in the background. And if you feel like your system is falling apart, it's almost always fixable. You just need to know what to look for. Next week, we are going deeper into something that I see constantly, and that's the difference between having all the tools and actually having a system, because they're not the same thing. And I will show you what that looks like and why it matters. I'll see you there.